Hello everyone, FunshotX here. Welcome back to Crash Landing, a map pack on the Feed the Beast launcher created by Iskandar. Version 1.1.2 is what we are playing, and we are on a server world with Raccoon, Landstrider, Palindrome, Nemson, and Ego. Their links to their channels are in the description below, and also a link to how you can download this map pack and check out the forums and everything available. So, first thing we're going to do today is the Animals on Demand system. We're going to explain how it works, and we're going to give it a little bit of a test. So, what I've got up here, I've got a bunch of open tanks. And I've left them here just to show you something. This pipe here is coming from down underneath where the mobs are being ground up into mob essence, and it's storing it in this big giant tank. The problem with these open blocks tank, even though they share the mob essence and distribute it, the individual blocks are their own container when it comes, well, all the time. So when you hook one to Steve's factory manager through an inventory cable, it only sees the one block. So if I hooked it to this one, it would say, well, you've got no mob essence available, even though I've got 2, 4, 6. I've got 6 mob essence. Come on, I've got some. So I've had to instead put a drum here and store all my mob essence in a drum. I might take out the tank here. I was kind of hoping for a nice green wall right here of mob essence. So, but that's, I don't know, the mob essence drum is going to have to completely fill up, and then all this is going to have to fill up. So that's going to be a while before that happens. But anyway, the inventory cable from Steve's factory manager is connected to that drum, and that drum can store into 256 buckets. And if we look at all our creating life quests, the most expensive one is the villager, and he takes 100 buckets. So as long as you can really use any container here for your mob essence with this system, as long as you have something big enough for 100 buckets. I think a drum might be the only one. I'm not sure if you can keep upgrading your tanks to hold 100 buckets. Well, the creative one would. Resonant is 64. Yeah, so you could get away with a resonant for everything except for a villager. And this is all the way just to automate the system. I mean, if you're doing it manually, you can do anything you want. So here we go, downstairs to see it all. Bum ba da bum. Here it is. All right, so a couple changes here. You guys saw this system, where, but I'll just repeat it real quick. The grinder puts all of its items out here. The gunpowder whitelisted to go into the dynamo, which is full. The mob essence comes out the bottom and goes in the dynamo, and the dynamo is powering that redstone energy cell. You can tell because this dynamo is full and not even powering that redstone energy cell is completely full. So this system powered itself and plenty. I've got mana to spare, so I might put another battery here and just charge it from that one so I can use it as a spare battery somewhere in my base if I need power. Because right now it's doing nothing. It's just kind of sitting here waiting for a mob to come and be ground up. So any extra mob essence that doesn't need to go in there follows this tube, goes up to that open blocks tank in the drum that you saw before. Okie dokie. I'm going to put some covers on there or something to make this look a little better once I put a floor down. Haven't got into the aesthetics of this room quite yet. Alright, you saw this before as well. We have a dense mode on the item duct, so everything's going to this chest. You can see it's almost completely full. When it does fill up, it'll go into this little chest. And so I just come along and check if this chest has anything in it. I know I need to deal with it. I've just been throwing away like the bow and arrows and that kind of thing. I'm going to keep agony? I don't even know what agony does. Wow, that's a new one to me. Oh well, I'll figure it out. But unbreaking, I might remove those if I can later. Put them on something else. But that's all good. And then over here is the mobs on demand system. The inventory cable connects to the manager. Connects to every single one of these redstone receivers, and it goes up that way to get to the drum. It comes along here, goes back in the wall, so it's connected to this chest, this hopper, and this drum. So that's all the components, and I've organized it to make a nice little, smooth little system, compact, and a lot of cool, really cool. I've laid it out just kind of like the quest book does, kind of. So we've got the first 4, and well, this is nothing like the quest book. Oh well. But you can get chicken, cows, sheep, pigs, horse, villagers, wolves, and ocelots. This is the input chest where you put in all the items required to make your chosen animal. So I've just got extra here. I've got eggs to make chickens, leather to make horses and cows, rotten flesh for pigs, gold nuggets. Okay, sorry, I thought there was a creeper in here. Whew, that scared me. I just heard him walking around. And bones for wolves. So I don't quite have enough for everything. I don't have any wool. I don't have any raw beef. I don't have any fish. I don't have any emerald blocks, but we'll handle that. Don't worry. So we put all the items in there, and then basically this system, it's going to go up first to that drum and make sure we have enough mob essence for the thing we're trying to create. It's also going to check the chest to make sure we have what we need, and if so, it's going to put the items into the hopper, and it's going to bring down the mob essence into this drum here. Okay, this is just our little holding tank drum. Landstrider has a very similar system, but if you watched his very beginning video that he first started with this, and also mine first one, this is subject to loss if you try to automate it quite, because you might put in like 20 buckets, so you only need 16 or something like that. So I made my system completely handle exactly what you need and no more. So hopefully that works. I think he's already corrected his system so it doesn't overflow, but I'll have to watch his latest video to check how he changed his system around. Here's the code. Here we go. Don't get too nervous because it's not that difficult. I've got command groups for each animal, and you just I have a setting in here, if you look in user preferences, to say clicking on the top part of a command will open, I don't know, one of these means all I have to do is click here and it opens it up, basically. And all of them look like this. They all have a trigger. They all check for the items, check for the essence. Then they do an input-output and a liquid input-output. All 8 of them look exactly like this. The trigger, I've told it to be a redstone-controlled trigger. And then I've hooked it to the receiver that's labeled for that animal. So this is the cow. Or no, this is the chicken. And it's this furthest one away. If you see from the factory manager, you trace it up, going along this inventory cable all the way up here, all the way up here. So you can see the chicken is actually the furthest one away, then the cow, then the sheep. So that's how easy to tell which one I want to select, just the furthest one away. Interval is left alone at 1. Sides, I'm only looking at the west side, which is the side the button is on. And I'm only wanted to check if it's a full redstone strength signal, 15 through 15. You'll notice I have all my buttons right along next to each other. If I didn't do that, and I push this cow button, redstone would be transmitted here, but then there would be a weak signal transmitted here, and it would detect it, and it would try to make a chicken. So make sure when you're doing these redstone signal detections, and they're right next to each other, that you specify what side you want to look at, and only a strong signal, full signal. So that's how I handled that. That's my trigger, and whenever it gets a high pulse, so whenever the button is pushed, I check for items. I'm going to go first to the chest. There's only one chest, so it's easy to find. And I'm going to look for, this is a chicken, so I want to look for an egg, and I want to make sure we have at least one egg in that chest. Pretty easy. If that's true, I'm going to now check for the essence. So I go up and I select the mob essence drum. That's my main tank that holds all the mob essence. And I'm going to make sure there's mob essence in there, and I'm going to specify an amount by right-clicking, and I make sure there's 10 buckets of mob essence. If both of those are true, then we come down here. We know we have enough to select. There's no way, as far as I can tell, to also determine that I've actually put the chicken quest on the QDS. So I just have to make sure before I select any of these that I power up the QDS by going and saying chicken, select task, and putting that there. Pretty easy, right? So that's just a manual step that I don't know any way of getting around other than doing it that way. Okay, back to here. These are all very simple. Now that I know we have enough, I go to the chest and I grab one egg. That's specify amount 1 again. And I output it to the hopper. I do the same thing with the input. I go to my main mob essence drum, grab 10 buckets of mob essence, and put it into the holding drum. And that is it. Pretty cool. One button, make a chicken. Should we give it a try? Let's see if we have enough. Up here we have 15 buckets, so that should work great. And let's go ahead and give it a try. We've got chicken selected here. We push the chicken button. You're going to see that fill up and then empty. And out pops a chicken. Cool. And you can see I've got 4 chickens now. I've also tested to make sure the pig and the cow work. Pretty awesome. I haven't made a pen for them yet. I need to do something with that to make sure I can breed them or collect their drops. I might just throw them in here and grind them up. I don't know. But I can get animals whenever I want, which is awesome. I'm not generating a huge amount of mob essence. I mean, you know, the mobs just kind of spawn outside my base and just kind of sit there, and some of them wander in my trench, and then they ground up eventually. So, I don't know. We'll see. Remember when I saw items lying on the ground? I figured out what that was. That was when, like, a zombie or a skeleton burn in the daylight. They die, but then their items still get sent along the track, and it'll just land right there. So I do need some kind of mechanism to collect their drops if a mob does die on its way down the conveyor belt. Alright. I want to show you guys one other thing. You'll see I have an emitter here. Serves no purpose in the system, but here's what I use it for. Sometimes when you're coding these, it's very difficult to make sure things are working, and you don't want to necessarily start sending out all your mob essence into a QDS before you know it's right. So I put an emitter step, and I select that emitter, and I put it, on toggle. And then all I can do is, let's make sure, I just want to make sure I have the right button. Well, I can say on high pulse, toggle my emitter. And now I can, well, that was chicken, so I should be able to see this toggling on and off when I push the chicken. So I know I've got the right button. Okay, well then, now I know that works. Let's make sure my check for item step works. So if that's true, meaning we do have an egg in here, then we should see this thing toggle as well. So we know that's right. And then you can do the same thing for, you know, checking for essence. Anytime you're doing like a check to make sure if something fires or if something's true or false, you can use that emitter step just as like a little quick debug type thing. So fix it all back to normal, and that emitter can just kind of hang out there. So if you look, I've got the same thing for a cow. You can see, oops. I don't know why that happened. I must have moved around the tank or something and it lost its thing. But a cow has the condition of 8 leather and 40 buckets of mob essence. So that's a ton. And it does the same exact thing as the others. The sheep needs wool, and it needs 8 wool. And I think it must be white. I've left it on precise to look only for white wool because I think the QDS doesn't use a fuzzy system on wool. I guess I could test it, but I'm just going to go with white wool. Tanks, I think it takes 40 buckets of mob essence as well. So we can test the sheep because we know we don't have any wool in here, and we know we don't have 40. So if I hit, get going on the sheep here, select the task, put it there, and I hit the sheep, nothing should happen. Because it's going to go to the chest and go, oh, nope, no wool. And it's not even going to check for the 40 buckets at that point. It's just going to stop and say, sorry, you don't have any wool. And I might use this emitter to somehow tell the user, hey, you've got a problem, you know, rather than just going, oh, why is it not working, you know? And so I'll just turn it on if there's an error, maybe. That could work. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways you could fix the system up to be even better, but I'm pretty happy the way it turned out. Time-wise, it took about 45 minutes for me to build everything and program it. And I'm fairly comfortable with programming and with Steve's Factory Manager and how it all works. Plus, you've got all the time to craft it, so it's probably minimum an hour, maybe up to 2 if you're new to it, you know, even just to follow along the steps I did. So it's quite a big undertaking, but once it's done, it's pretty nice. I don't have to manually drop things in anymore or calculate how many buckets I need in there, especially for something like a villager. Who wants to try and manually put 100 buckets in there of mob essence or you know, waste any, right? We don't want to waste any. We need it all. But that is the power of Steve's Factory Manager. With one button press, I can move 100 buckets, exactly 100 buckets of any liquid to somewhere else. That's really cool. It's my favorite mod by far. Okay, so you guys know that I've been having a problem with string, and everybody's been telling me how to fix it, and a lot of the ways I just being stupid. and just forgetting. We have multiple ways to get string in this map. The first is obviously kill spiders, and you can see I've got 14 from doing that. The second way is to break a cobweb with a sword. Oh, and I need some water. I've been explaining too much. So break a cobweb with a sword. Problem is we don't have a sword right now, and so I think we need to rectify that. The problem is I don't have a smelter either to make the parts for the sword. So I'll just mention it, but I won't actually do it. Breaking cobweb with sword will get string, and you can get this cobweb from chests in the city. Alright, the other way would obviously be to get a worm. Where are my worms at? I know I have them somewhere in a random place, probably in the food chest. Still getting used to this new base. There we go, we got one worm. And let's get an oak sapling. And we need some dirt. And we know where the dirt is for sure, right guys? Stacks and stacks of dirt. No, it's not going that fast. I don't chunk load my base, and I'm not on a lot, so it's not like that thing's producing insane amounts. I don't really have a spot for this right now, so I guess I'm just gonna do it here. And dirt there, sapling there. I forgot bone meal. All right. And you guys, all you guys that play this map, I'm sure remember the very early stage of the game. If you need string, you put a silkworm in the leaves, and he'll grow. Once that gets to 100, it'll turn into white, and then you break it with a crook, and you'll get string. So it's something so early game that I completely forgot about it now that I'm more established that that's such an easy way to get string. The other way, you go into the town, you're going to end up with a lot of wool if you harvest a lot of the buildings. As you can see, I've got some wool here. And I have something to test. This is like what I found mostly in the city the last time, plus a bunch of just junk I put in there. I wanted to test something. We need to go to our pulverizers. And you can see wool in a pulverizer makes string. 4 of it. I think there might be another machine, but let's go ahead and put it in there. There's our next way. So we know kill spiders, break cobwebs, use silkworms, and pulverize wool. So there's 4 ways I could get string, and I just completely forgot. Here's the kicker. Can we get dye from pulverizing wool? 5% chance, but we can. He has not disabled that. Wow, that is awesome. Because, as you guys know, dyes are very important in Nematocraft for getting the seeds we need. Right? Can't we dye? Maybe I'm just saying, making stuff up. I thought like to get a red seed. It was, yeah, there we go. So to get a propulsion plant seeds, if I can't get them normally, all I have to do is get some grass seeds and put some orange dye on them. And orange dye, I just have to grind up some orange wool. And it's a very low chance, but the city is full of wool of all different colors. So if you're having trouble with a particular seed, knowing where to get it, like especially rose red, and you've planted 1,000 flowers and can't get a red flower to pop, just go looking for red wool and grind it, pulverize it. You need about 20, and you should get a red dye, and then you're set. So we got plenty of string now, and now I'm trying to remember what were we going to use that string for. I know we needed wool for our bed, our portable bed. But I honestly don't remember what else we were trying to get wool for. Oh, that was it. Silk meshes. So we want to get 4 more silk meshes, right? It's 2 per sieve, I think. Just making sure. Yep. So we need 36, and I've got 38. Perfect. And I can get 4 more. Now let's go ahead and the rest of the recipe, sticks, wood, easy to do. Just gonna make it out of oak. All right, craft these babies up. And our silk mesh. All right. So now we don't have to wait for this anymore. Put those two down. I still need the other two block gates. What was my blocker on the block gate? I don't remember. It was the dispenser. Right, so we needed more bows, which is the other place we needed string. And we don't have it because I just used it all. And I think I've gotten rid of all my bows that were down here. That was another reason I was going for the mob grinder, so I could get a bunch of extra bows. I'm not sure if you can use an unbreaking. I know it needs to be full. Yeah, I've trashed all the bows. Dang it. Should we make just a very basic sword? Can we make just like a stone sword? Just for like one use or something? Let's try. I want to try. For science. We can make one. It has one use. Well, that's all I need it for. Nice, I got a string. Yeah, one string. So we need 3 more swords. Oh, this is pathetic. I don't have a sword right now. Next episode, I'm going to have the Crucible set back up. Not the Crucible, the Tinker's Construct thing. And we can get a better sword. Because this is silly. Oh, but it worked, right? Alright, so now get some more sticks. And make 2 more bow and arrows. Alright. Now the rest of the dispenser is pretty easy. Redstone and cobble. Redstone's in here. Need 2 of it. Stack of cobble, and we can make our dispensers. This one, yeah, can't shift click it because the stupid thing doesn't stack. There we go. 2 dispensers. Now we need our inventory cable and wherever we put those iron picks. I know we crafted them. I don't know where I put them. Oh, in here? Nope. Well, I'm getting a lot of string there. I guess I could have just waited for that. Why is there an iron ingot there? I must have got that from my city exploration. From killing a mob. There we go. Iron picks and 2 inventory cable. Okay. These guys don't work either? Oh yeah, because iron picks don't stack. Dispenser stack. There we go. And there's our 2 block gates. Put them right here and here. Awesome. Okay, so now we need to fix this program up so that it knows to put gravel in here, sand in here, dust in there. So let's come here, and this is part of the sieving program. Get the gravel. So this is 2 gate, probably the closest block gate is where the gravel goes. And this one is going to go to the second, not the first. And the last one, the dust, will go to the furthest block gate. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and hook up the dust output because I've got so much of it right now. We'll see if that is working. You're going to do dust. No? Do we not have anything hooked up? Oh, there we go. Turn it on. No, stop. What are you doing? Oh, sand. Okay, that's fine. We had extra sand in there. It's this one I gotta finish off because it's supposed to be gravel. You gonna do some gravel? Oh, I haven't hooked it up. How did I get that? You're supposed to grab it faster than I can pick it up. Making a liar out of me. Silly system. I picked up a ton of crap. No! Stop! I think it just has too many items popping at once, and so it's getting stuck. Oh, I need to tell it only get 1 sand, 1 gravel. I remember I made that change. Get the gravel, 1. Get the sand, I think is already set to 1. Get the dust, set to 1. There we go. And do we have a few things of gravel? We don't have any gravel. It's in here, probably in here. Nope. I'm just out of power, so. Okay. The one that's supposed to make gravel is out of power. Okay, you're outside my base, right? Yes. I look at my mini-map and I see all those mobs and it makes me nervous. The next thing I want to do then is going to make a couple energy cells. One for that extra battery down there, and then one to power up and put here. So let's do that. I know I'm going to need a lot of redstone. 18 redstone to give me 2 blocks. I need a lot of lead and a lot of glass. Glass up here. Okay. So to get the energy cell, we're just going to start with leadstone. Needs an energy frame, which needs these blocks here. Oops. Missing the lead. Forget it doesn't grab it from that chest. There we go. 1, 2 frames. Now to go right, we can go to a leadstone energy cell and then upgrade to a hardened, or I can go right to a hardened. That's assuming I have 8 invar and a bunch of copper and 2 electrum. I have invar. There's a ferrous there. Alright, so it doesn't look like I can go to invar right yet, or to a hardened. I'll have to make some more invar. So let's just do this straight up. Leadstone, which is 3 copper, 1 electrum. I don't have the electrum either, do I? Did I save it? Sometimes I put it in here because I'm like, I'll need it for the next episode. I can make it manually. That chest is going to overflow. Okay, well, I think what I need to do is then maybe do it. Yeah, we'll probably just end the episode. We're almost at 30 minutes. And I'll go ahead and get my smeltery, there's the right word, set back up. All the components are right over here. I'm going to make it a little bit different. So we're actually going to make 2 smelteries. One, serving different purposes. That's going to be really cool. And we'll make our high oven. And I also want to do a deep tank. I've never done one. I really want to make one. So let's do it. And those are all going to go on the roof here of this building. So I've got to build it up, get some elevators so I can go up and down. Yeah, you are working great. Look at all the stuff it's producing. I might want to adjust my system to get rid of these stones or put them in a barrel or something, because that is just a ton of stone. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, hit that like button. Don't forget to go out and check out all the other players from this server. Again, their channels are linked in the description, easy to find them. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more and you're not already. Welcome to all the new subscribers that have joined us this week. There's way too many of you to name, or I would give you all shoutouts. But the channel has just really exploded. I really have to thank Iskandar for that, for creating this map. It's been a lot of fun to play, and I think that is what's translated into people, really being interested in watching. Is the players have so much fun, so obviously the people watching are going to have fun. So props to him for this awesome map. He has a Patreon site, and I urge you guys to go support him. He's it's brand new, really, and he just does not have as much support as he should. So go check out Patreon, type in Iskandar, it'll be really easy to find, and give him a buck or two, whatever you can afford. And that's it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys next time. Fun Shine X. Bye.